That looked a lot cooler in the movies. Hello everyone and welcome. Today I answer the question, can I beat Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree with only the Discus Hurl? But Doom, where is the rest of the game? You're only going to do the DLC? Yes, but also no. Hawk-eyed viewers might recognize this character as my Captain America cosplay, where I beat the game by hitting everything with this shield. Because of what this Ash of War is, I figured it would be good to bring Cap into the DLC. Going forward, I'll probably do the base game and the DLC for new characters, but if it's a run that's already done, there's not really a need for me to redo it. Bold of From Software to make the first thing you do when entering the DLC a collectathon, considering that's how the base game starts too. So, the weapon I am looking for is the Smith's Script Shield, which is in the Tehlu Ruin Forge, a mini dungeon near Shadow Keep. But Shadow Keep isn't accessible right away, you have to beat Rellana first. Or do you? No, you don't. You can just go around. It's not even hard. Just activate a Spirit's Ring, jump up to the Fort of Reprimand, and bam, you're in Skadoo Altus. Skadoo. Which, let me tell you, I'm really glad I didn't need to fight Lady Pontiff by beating her to death with a shield. That would not have been a good time. I feel like there's something poetic about the weapon that is nearly indestructible being in a place that looks like it's using the molten core of the planet to forge it. Why in Marika's name does it scale with strength, dex, int, and faith? Like, what? I mean, the requirements are low, but why even do that? I max it out and reallocate my stats to be able to use it, so let's try it out. Ho, Jeff! Okay, so the initial throw went way high, but the return hit did 572 damage. Not bad for a shield, honestly. After testing it a bit more, the first throw does less damage than the return hit, about half as much, but if both hits land, that's actually some pretty juicy damage. Okay, with weapon in hand, I think it's time to get some talismans to help. I'm already wearing the Blue Dancer Charm, which will probably give me a boost, but there's an old friend I need to meet. Hello, Alexander. I'm sorry to have to do this. Although the Shadowlands showed me what you really are, so maybe I'm doing you a favor. The Shard of Alexander will increase my skill's power, but what if there was something new that could boost it even further? In the Rune Forge Starfall Pass dungeon, which is a really weird name for a dungeon, I loot the Smithing Talisman. This will boost thrown weapon damage. Testing it out on some regular enemies to make sure it works, I can see that without it, I hit for 350, and with it, 381. Had to make sure, you know how this game can be. Finally, I think it's time to take on the first Legacy dungeon, Beloret Tower Settlement. Nothing really happened while I was making my way to the boss, so I thought I would share something with you guys instead. This is my second playthrough of the DLC. My first one was on my original character. I thought it was kinda cool to take them into the DLC first. However, some of you may know that that character was used in the Ditto video, and in that video I mentioned that that character was in New Game Plus 4. That's right, my first playthrough of this DLC was in New Game Plus 4. If for some reason you are watching this and haven't played it yet and are considering using a higher New Game Cycle character, don't. It is 100% not worth it. I got my ass handed to me by damn near everything. It just wasn't a good time. I think it took me about 25 hours to beat the whole DLC, and 15 of those were on one specific boss. Why don't you guys comment down below how long the DLC took you? I'm curious to know if Miyazaki's prediction was right. And while you're at it, how about a like and subscribe? I'm trying to hit 100,000 by the end of the year, and I would really appreciate your help. Anyway, oh, dungeon over? Okay, Divine Beast Dancing Lion. I like this boss. I love the way it moves, the attacks are pretty easy to dodge, the camera sucks, but I mean that's been a problem for FromSoft since, what, 2009? I was doing decent damage, but more importantly I made a discovery that changed the whole run. The shield doesn't return after it's thrown, it homes in on the enemy. It has a fair bit of distance too, combine that with a not too shabby damage and this thing actually kinda slaps. I mean, sure, if I threw it from further away I missed out on the extra damage from the first hit, but like, I'm a mid-range fighter with a shield? After getting good, the Dancing Lion goes down on the third try. I wonder if I'm in for any more surprises in this run. There is one drawback to this Ash of War, and Moonrathil can show it off for me. Do you see it? How about now? Yep, the Discus Hurl costs FP to use. Not a lot, obviously. I mean, literally like 3, but it will be something to keep in mind for later. Or it would be if this DLC didn't also include a talisman that steadily restores FP. Had you in the first half, didn't I? Well, I did do a little research for this run, all of like 5 minutes, but it was enough. Anyway, I grabbed that, then head back to Castle Magica. I'll admit I was scared of Rellana going in. I didn't feel like I learned anything from this fight on my first playthrough, but once again, this shield is here to show me that I have nothing to fear. Lady Pontiff will dodge projectiles, except she only dodges the initial throw, not the homing shot after, meaning I can literally just do mage tactics and run away and spam. Perfect! Phase 1 is basically free because of that, but Phase 2 she becomes way more aggressive and will constantly try to close the distance, so I did have to learn to deal with some of her attacks. Yet another surprise, this thing can stagger. Like, was this thing tested at all? To be fair, I only managed to stagger 3 bosses in this whole run, but I mean, staggering from a distance? I'll never doubt the power of shields again. R'Ellana, you can moonslam my face anytime. After a handful of tries, Lady Pontiff falls. I feel like my damage was going to quickly fall off, so I decided to hunt down some of the blessings before arriving at Shadow Keep. Thanks to all of them, I was able to go from level 4 to level 9. Now, to be completely honest, the reason why I wanted to do that was because I didn't really know where to go. I mean, in this run, I decided to do the Golden Hippo next, which I think is what you're supposed to do, but on my initial run, my third boss was Commander Gaius. That was a fucking mistake. It basically put the fear in me that everything after R'Ellana was hyper-tuned and able to just one-shot me. Fortunately, the Hippo, while definitely able to hit hard, didn't stand a chance against my Shield of Justice. Does anyone know how you're actually supposed to get down here? I kinda just jump off and land on this ledge so I don't die from fall damage, but that does not seem like what you're supposed to do. I pick up the Oh Mother gesture for later, then make my way to the Cathedral of Manus Mater. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm unsure of what area to do next, so I'm running around grabbing more blessings. I decided on the plant boss because, I don't know, I just felt like it. Holy shit, I did like a 6 of that thing's health in one hit. People are complaining about this boss? One thing that I don't particularly like is that when this boss phase transitions, if you don't riposte it, it starts at full health instead of 75%. I mean, conceptually it's fine, but like, what if it ends up on some weird terrain and you just can't reach it? Maybe this boss doesn't have that problem, but the first Furnace Golem in the DLC, that did happen to me. It was on my main character, so I wasn't recording, but it went down and landed on the nearby fence, and I just couldn't reach it to riposte it. As a counterpoint, I guess it would be silly of them to try and account for every possible scenario, but hey. Anyway, Piranha Plant goes down. Why does From like to make some of the most beautiful areas optional? Like, imagine pouring your heart and soul into this area only for Miyazaki to tell you half the people that play won't even see it. Whatever, anyway, up through Cerulean Coast and down into the Stone Coffin Fissure, making sure to get the superhero landing. How's it going, Yogurt Man? I have no idea why I started calling him that, but it's sticking. So Yoplait over here is one of my more favorite fights in this expansion. I don't know why, I just find all of his moves fun to dodge, especially the one where he summons his horse for the combo. I don't know, it just feels good. I did die a lot to him, but that's mostly because I'm a smooth-brained moron and was unable to properly jump over his frostbite flames. It was mostly because in my head I thought, oh, I have a range attack so I can actually hit him during his phase transition, which is true, but that greed is what would get me killed. Either way, in the end, I proved that Gogurt is a great addition to your breakfast. God, that joke sucked so bad. It wasn't even a joke, it was just like word soup. Next thing on my to-do list is to drink the Kool-Aid. Like 7 times actually, then I go tell the resident sleep simp where to find his milady. He gets angry that she talked to me and not him, then gets a face full of vibranium. I believe that puts an end to his questline, so I move on to the Finger Runes, which is what happened in America after I blow this hole, then return to the cathedral to progress more quests. What is this massive underground cave doing here? Do you want creepy spider finger monsters? Because this is how you get creepy spider finger monsters. With new map in hand, I figured I would make my way over to the next Finger Runes, but to get there I had to navigate Shadow Keep. I really like this dungeon, it just has so much stuff packed into it, like the different areas, the verticality, the asshole fire mages, it really has everything. Commander Gaius. I am afraid. This dude gave me such a hard time on my first playthrough that I was dreading being here at all. I know he's optional, but there are like 5 blessings behind him, and he's a remembrance, so I'll just swallow my fear and take him on. I'm pretty sure in New Game Plus 4 he had over 100,000 health, like I did so little damage to him, but here I actually see yellow, so that's a good sign. Not getting one shot makes it easier to learn the boss moveset too, which applies to most bosses in this run, cough cough. And to my astonishment, I was able to win on the first try. I grab all the juicy raisins by the big cup, then gesture at the statue so it can move. Seriously, where was the in-game clue that you had to do this? Again, another extremely beautiful area hidden away that most people won't see. Then again, it has tree sentinels and a falling star beast, so maybe it's good that they don't. I learned the hard way that you shouldn't ride straight into these Finger Runes. Unfortunately, I still got finger blasted by one of these worm things. Blowing into another hole, it's back to the cathedral where, you guessed it, I blow into a third hole. Must be a Catholic cathedral. Mater, Mother of Fingers. Man, I sure hope this is indicative of what's to come. I like this fight, but honestly, I'm not really sure why. I mean, I guess it's because the boss is really unique looking. It isn't particularly challenging, but I mean, how often do you get to fight the Thumb Thumbs, honestly? The only attack I don't like is this massive laser spinning one because, honestly, I don't know how to dodge it. If anyone knows, I'd love to hear it. Either way, the Mother of Fingers gets stomped on the second try. I must be a god at PvP. Oh, a rematch, I see? No one likes a sore loser, dude. Just stay down. Up in Jagged Peak, I ignore every single dragon I see until they got so mad at me they send their dad to beat me up, or something like that. Bale the Dread. Now this is a dragon fight. In fact, I will go out on a wing and say that it is the best dragon fight in the series. I mean, it has the same level of spectacularity as Plagiarisax with the damage interactivity of, well, literally anything that isn't a dragon boss in these games. And when the phase transition hits, oh, that's when you know you're in for a good time. 10 out of 10 boss, this one is. Before long, Bale the Dread has become Bale the Dead. And it wasn't even close. Next, I return to Shadow Keep to take the secret ladder to a secret room with a secret wall that houses a secret coffin. Does something smell like burnt hair to you guys? Alright, because fuck physics, I guess. Jori Elder Inquisitor. I have nothing to say about this boss. He is only included because he stands between me and the next area. I mean, I guess I could say that he spams so much he would make 1.0 Rivers of Blood users proud, but that's about it. I just keep my distance and, ironically, spam back at him. With that, it's on to one of the cooler areas in the game, the Abyssal Woods. Now, I might not look it because my channel is 99% FromSoft games, but I actually love the horror genre, and this place is the closest we're going to get to a FromSoft horror game. You're unable to use torrents, so you have to navigate this area by foot, but something horrific lurks in the distance. Winter lanterns. It's just winter lanterns. I mean, it's kind of neat that you actually have to use stealthier, making sure to stay hidden in the bushes, but not to hit the, alarm plants. I mean, this game isn't meant to be a stealth game, but luckily it doesn't overstay its welcome as these enemies are few and far between, just kind of a fun break from the normal gameplay. At the end is Midra's Manse, a disheveled castle housing a maddening secret. That there is a new kind of torch for me to use. Let's go! Obviously not on this character, but I think we all know who's gonna have to make a trip to the Shadow Realm soon. Anyway, Midra, Lord of the Frenzied Flame. This is the first boss that I started to have trouble with, not because he's overly complicated or has combos for days, but instead, madness. Just as a little reminder, in case you haven't been hit by this status effect in like 2 years, it does percent damage, sure, whatever, but it also chunks your FP meter. And sure, my Discus Hurl takes very little FP, but it still requires it, which means every time I accidentally get hit by madness, I shorten the amount of time I am effective in battle. It doesn't help that this particular madness attack seems a tiny bit random. I mean, maybe it's not and it just comes down to range and my timing, but the bolts sometimes felt difficult to dodge effectively. Also, sometimes this happens. That being said, this is another one of those really cool to look at bosses, but is insanely trivialized by playing at mid to long distance. Before long, the Frenzied Flame is extinguished. Well, that's all the optional fights done, so it's time to finish this. First up is Messmer the Impaler. I love this fight. He's just got the right amount of aggression and these huge flashy attacks that look really dangerous but are still somehow very easy to recognize how to dodge. Well, except for the grab attack. I mean, yeah, it's really easy to dodge, but he must have had a perfect score on the how to delay your attack test because holy crap, he holds it forever. I was actually able to poise break him as well, which surprised me, though to be fair, it's mostly a surprise because I'm just not trying to do it. I was robbed. That should have hit him, but it missed. Whatever, after a handful of attempts, the Impaler becomes the Impalee on my round, not pointed shield. Yeah, never mind that. I should cut that and just save it for a Lance video or something. Huh, I didn't know there was a DLC version of Moongrum. Skipping ahead to the next boss, as all I did was collect more blessings, Romina, Saint of the Bud. Or should I say, better, Scorpionus Nashka. Or Centipede Nashka? No, whatever, Rotworm. Overall, an enjoyable fight. The only issue I had was when she swipes her centipede head to the side. I got Calamite vibes from it, not a fan of being carried into the hitbox, but nothing is perfect, I suppose. And the Rot, while annoying, doesn't honestly pose much of a threat. I mean, sure, it's better poison, but on my winning attempt, I got afflicted with it, but never actually had to stop the fight to manage it. Watching the footage back, I can see my physic is basically healing at the same pace that Rot is hurting me, so it actually is just a non-issue if you have that heal over time tier rate. Hey, late night editing Doom here. So about that Rot, yeah, I thought that it had naturally worn off over the course of the fight and done basically nothing. I mean, I am healing at about the same rate it's hurting me, but that's not what actually happened. Romina healed me? I don't know if this is a glitch or intentional. I'm partially inclined to believe it's some kind of mechanic, like the dive bomb attack deals extra damage if you have Rot but also removes it. If it is a glitch, it might be that the value was overflowed and then it went negative and caused me to be instantly cured, but I find it kind of hard to believe that that would make it past testing. I don't know, I just wanted to point that out because I didn't notice while I was playing the game. Anyway, back to you, Script Doom. In just 2 attempts, this bug is squashed, and with that, I burned the smaller tree. Not as cool as the main game one, but whatever. Inner Ilum, the final dungeon in the game. Well, I say dungeon because that's what it's classified as, I guess, but honestly it's pretty short and doesn't really have any surprises. Except this. Who can honestly say they found this blessing without a guide? Because I sure didn't. Oh, that looks like a fun weapon. Gonna need to try this baby out on the Twin Blade successor video. I get my blessing level to 20 because I am absolutely going to need it, then take on the Gang Squad. Now, I did a few side quests so I could summon aid for this fight, but I am so confident in my shield's ability to handle NPC fights, I don't think I will. And I was right. The only issue I ran into is that I ran out of FP and had to just run away until it refilled. This Ash of War is actually broken and needs some kind of nerf. And with them down, it's time to move on to the final fight in the game. Radahn. Holy crap. My notes for this section, literally 2 words. Fuck Radahn. This is such a massive spike in difficulty that I'm amazed it made it past playtesting. I mean, I understand in-house the devs are used to these attacks, they program the windows for your dodges, they know how to dodge them, but surely they passed this off to a QA team who looked at this fight and told them they were smoking crack because holy shit this boss goes hard. Okay, where do I start? I can't parry him because despite using a shield I'm not able to, ironic I know, so I guess I have to actually learn how to dodge his attacks. Phase 1 is honestly pretty easy. Out of all the attacks, the only one I haven't completely figured out how to dodge is when he does his 3-hit combo that ends in a cross slash. No matter how hard I try, I always get clipped by the second swing. I have had success dodging it when I went into his right side, but it always felt like an accident, like I got lucky and the positioning had us in a way that he simply missed. Most attacks only give one opportunity for a follow-up, but when he does his rupture attack, I can get off 2, which is great news for phase 2. Speaking of, this is where every shit that has ever been hits every fan all at once. He still retains all the attacks from phase 1, and as far as I can tell there's no speed change, so dodging them should all be the same. Except it's not, because they now all have lingering AoE holy attacks after them. What you're supposed to do is just stick next to him, but I swear some of them clipped me even when I was basically underneath him. Also, I don't know if they changed his AI or not, but before he had like a 99% chance to start with a big explosion, but here it was like 50-50 on whether he would do that or something else. Maybe it's because I was sneaking in attacks after the phase transition, I don't know. The problem comes with all of his new attacks, the ones where he makes clones of himself and flies around. I really don't understand this one, but not because I can't see what's happening. No, after I switch from a Steam Deck to a normal monitor, I can actually make out the attacks coming my way. The problem I was running into is that I could wait until just before his first clone attacked or roll sooner, and in both cases I would sometimes dodge the whole things, but in others get hit. It never seemed like it was consistent on when his clones would hit me, despite his timing never changed, so I don't know, mad cause bad I guess. Also, I don't exactly have anywhere else to put this. I was able to poise break him. Yeah, Radahn of all bosses was poise broken by my little shield. It only happened once, but I was just as surprised as you are. For anyone struggling with this fight, seriously, just parry. Basically everything he does can be parried, even in phase 2, and then you just have to be able to survive the clone attacks. After having beaten him twice, I have to say he still feels way harder than anything else, but much like Malenia before him, he too shall become easier over time. Except he isn't optional, so GG I guess. Thank you everyone for watching, and an extra special thanks to my patrons. Stay beautiful, y'all. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving a like and subscribing. It really helps the channel out, and why not check out when I took Cap through the base game just beating things up with my shield. But until next time, my friends, don't you dare go hollow.